Hey YouTube, I'm back with another deck profile. This video is going to feature my Beast Deity deck. So Beast Deities are my favorite Nova Grappler archetype or subclan. I never really liked Risers, although I did build them, but I got rid of them. And then the other one was Blau, and Blau I just hated because I didn't like it. Like back when we were in Blau and Novell and Revenger format, I was running Revengers Raging Form, and then I guess the other one I had was Novell, but I never got into Blau. So Beast Deities were really always my favorite Nova Grapplers since they came out last year, back when CBD came out. Or actually, they came out way before that. They came out like in set 10, but it wasn't really until Catastrophic Outbreak that they really started shining for a while. They were actually pretty good, and they're very fun. Like, I just like their style. So I upgraded the deck a little bit to make it focus more on stride and go back to the roots of how Nova Grapplers are supposed to play, which is about standing their rear guards rather than saying their vanguard, but they still have that capability as well. So, without further ado, thanks to the new support they got in set 2, or was it set 1? Actually, it was set 1. They now have access to a Limit Break Enabler, which makes this guy their best Vanguard. So 4 copies of this is the best way to go. I would say 3 is the minimum, but 4 is definitely the recommended. You want to max Extreme out because he can just straight up rush and win you games, especially if you have your Limit Break Enabler, which just so happens to be Beast Deities. Next, I am running 3 Beast Deity Ethics Buster. So this is the Break Ride. Break Ride is slow in stride format. It's really, really bad. Just because it's so slow, because you have to re-ride when you could have used that grade 3 to stride instead. So it is what it is, but the only reason why I am running it is because if you do open up with this, that does give you the potential to cross break ride. So in late game, you do have the advantage because you'll have a cross ride defense, which is very good actually at blocking pesky things that have guard restriction like Chrono Jet and all that kind of stuff. So 3 of him. And then I am running 9 grade 3s, so the other grade 3 is Reverse, or Deadliest Beast Deity Ethics Buster Reverse. He is in here because that way they have access to a restanding Vanguard. Yeah, you have to lock 2 and discard 2 Beast Deities before you go into battle phase, but the main reason why I still run this guy is because the cross break ride with him is really the way to go. If you do open up with the break ride, so I do run 2 copies instead of just 1 copy, just so I can potentially see that play. But yeah, definitely, yeah, like most of the time you would want to either open up with this guy or this guy, so that's why I only run 2 of Reverse. You almost never, the worst thing that could happen is you have to ride this first as the grade 3. But then in that case, I would say you'll end up playing a stride focused game where you'll be like discarding your break ride copies for stride and stuff like that. So 9 grade 3s, all Beast Deity. For grade 2s, 4 Beast Deity Brenny Papio. Originally, I always used to run 3 of these. I actually bumped it up to 4 because I wanted to see it more often, and because the deck is rush focused, you want to rush them. This deck really punishes players who like to play that that weird kind of game that's going on right now, where they kind of purposely grade lock themselves at 2 one turn if they went first. And Nova Grapplers historically always have benefited from going second. So if you do go second, you definitely want to try to see Brenny Papio as like your turn 2 ride or those kind of things. Or like even if you open up with 2 of them on the sides like that, it's hilarious. So you kind of just no guard first 2 attacks or whatever. So you have enough counterblast for this guy. But yeah, definitely 4 of him. And then 4 Beast Deity Hatred Chaos, because he is very important. I would say he's like one of the most important Beast Deities in the deck. And then the other grade 2 is the Beast Deity Golden Anglet. He becomes 12k when he restands. So he swings first at 9, but then when he restands he's 12. So he's similar to Hatred Chaos, just not as good. So that's why I run less of him. So that's the grade 2s. For grade 1s, 4 Beast Deity Solar Falcon. You can run the new Perfect Guard if you want. I don't do it because I am running Reverse. I do want to be able to discard 2 Beast Deities from my hand. I don't want to be in a situation where I can't pay that cost if I know my opponent is at 5 damage and they only have like a couple of zeros in their hand. I do want that restand play. So 4 Solar Falcon plus it's really good against Laurel and the Cross. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. And then 4 Beast Deity Max Beat, one of the best ones for rushing early game. Same thing as Brainy Papio. So, just the grade 1 equivalent. And then 4 of one of the best cards they got, all Stride season. So, Beast Deity Frogmaster, he's the limit break enabler for Nova Grappler, and I'm so glad that he is a Beast Deity and not a Blau or something like that. Blau never actually really needed the Blau support grade 1s, but Beast Deities really do. So I'm glad that they got one. So that, like I said, that makes this guy rush like crazy early. And then 1 Stride Fodder. This was an extra tech choice. I can manage to fit it in. That way, with the 9 grade 3s combined with this one guy, they can stride a couple of times per game. Keep up with all the Stride focus decks that way. So that's grade 1s. So 13 grade 1s, 11 grade 2s, and 9 grade 3s. For the trigger lineup, 4 Beast Deity Criticals. If you don't really want to run the Beast Deity Criticals, like I said, the only reason why I'm really running them is because of this guy. But you can run this or you can run the other one that unflips damage. And then next I am running 4 Subliminal Gray stand triggers. This stand trigger is really, really good with Beast Deities. It's a stand trigger, Beast Deities, and their Stride works really well with this. And plus it goes back into the deck, goes on the bottom of the deck, and then you draw a card. So for Soul Blast 1. Then 4 Beast Deity stands. I do not have Energy Girl. That's one of the cards I wish I had. If I had her, I'd definitely probably use her over this guy. But yeah, Energy Girl, she's GB1, so you can't use her as fast as you could use Subliminal Gray. But yeah, so 4 critical, 8 stand, and 4 heal. So 8 stand, why more stand than critical? Why not 6 and 6? Well, because honestly, with this deck, you want to stand your rear guards as much as you can. Just keep rushing. You'll be calling like lots of. You'll have like 2 of these in the field. You'll set up weird columns where you'll have like 2 of these like that. It's just really weird. It's an interesting deck in that it actually uses stands better than any other deck or any other clan. Like Nova Grapplers actually can use stands in ways that no other clans have been able to do historically. But I mean now, like you actually see stands in like Angel Feather and Genesis and other kinds of clans out there that are using those stands like Bermuda Triangle. But Beast Deities always, they've done really well with stands. So, and then the starter is Beast Deity Riot Horn. This is still the best starter just because it sits on the field and you'll always call this to left or right. And then you'll always have like Hatred Chaos in front of it. So it just stands itself every time something stands. So again, it goes hand in hand with the stand trigger. It makes everything just that much better. Though it is susceptible to Kagero and stuff like that. For the Stride deck, it's pretty self-explanatory. 2 Meteor Kaiser Victoplasma. 2 of him just because he's a restanding Stride, very basic restanding Stride. So you lose the triple drive, but you get 4 drive checks instead of 3. There's not much more to say about this guy. He's similar to the Ace, only he doesn't. I mean, he's easier to restand. You don't have to discard something specific. And he just, I mean, he restands. So the deck can restand Vanguards. I mean, they've got this and they've got him. You only really need 2 of him because you will almost only stride him like 1 time per game. The other really good Stride that I play more, that I see more often per games, is Meteor Kaiser Tri-Brute. Tri-Brute is from Fighters Collection. He's a double R. He's relatively easy to get. Like I pulled all 3 of these just from like, I think I had 3 boxes or 2 boxes of Fighters Collection. But anyway, 3 of him. He is really good. He's the reason why we run 8 stands instead of 6 stands, because you really want to see stands go off. Basically, When a rearguard stands, due to an effect of one of your cards, and in this case it would be the stand trigger, you can counterblast 1. The unit that stood gets 2,000, and then you get to retire one of the opponent's rearguards. You get to pick, which has attack less than or equal to the unit's attack, and retire it. So basically, like, let's say you get a stand trigger, you've got Hatred Chaos or whatever. Like, let's say you've got this column. So you strode this guy, or whatever. So you swing with this first, you swing with this second. Let's say you check a stand. Because there's 8 of them, they're more likely to hit than crits. But crits win games, so that's why we still run 4 crits. Just for that surprise factor. And plus stand and crit in the same drive check is real scary good. So you stand him with the stand trigger, and he gets 5k. Then, then this guy stands. So he stands, counterblast 1, he goes up by 2. So he's, what, 12, and if you put the power on the stand, then whatever, he's like 17. So he becomes 19. Then you CB1, kill off something that is less than 19. That's equal to that unit's attack. So you can kill basically anything on the opponent's field. And then this guy stands, and then if they have a... well, then he becomes 7. And then the opponent retires like 7k because it's less than or equal to. Yeah. So he's really good with the stand triggers. That's why I run 3 of him. And that's why we run 8 stands. So. And then the other grade 3 is just the rare from set 1. So Meteor Kaiser, Victon. So all these are Meteor Kaiser stuff. On top of Beast Deities, but they're really good. This one, what it does is you get to choose one of your rearguards, stand it, and it gets 5k when it hits. So, like, again, this column is like that. If it hits, then you stand him, then this guy will stand automatically too. So, really, really good. Probably the worst matchup for this deck. It's very budget. It's very fun. It's a lot more fun than playing as Riser, because Cat Butler, Riser is really... I don't know. I don't like those weird type of decks that... I mean, it's good, don't get me wrong, but it's like one of those where even if you play the deck, you feel like you should ban some of the cards, or like Bushiroad should ban some of the cards. So, that's my Beast Deity deck. Hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. It's really fun to play as, and it's definitely good for those who on a budget can't afford like all the Riser stuff. So, or even the new stuff. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed that deck profile, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.